Hello, and welcome to Cocktails with a Twist of History, your digital destination for all things cocktails. So, do you know Tom Collins? He knows you, and he does not like you. This was the start of the Tom Collins hoax of 1874. It started in New York, but somehow first ended up in the newspapers in St. Louis. The hoax was this. Somebody would go into a bar and approach a guy and say, "Have you seen Tom Collins?" "Why, no," the guy would say. "I've never met him." "Well, perhaps you better do so, and very quickly, because he's at the bar across the street, and he's talking really bad things about you. He's convincing everybody that you're a very bad person." So this would make the person very upset and go stomping off to look for the rascal Tom Collins. Upon getting to the bar, the man would ask the bartender, "Do you have a Tom Collins here?" The bartender would then reply, "Yes, we do," and would give him a Tom Collins drink. This is what they called fun in 1874. I guess they needed YouTube or Instagram. The Tom Collins is a very interesting cocktail. It even has a glass that's named after it. This is a Collins glass, sometimes called a chimney glass, but you can see it's long and thin. Today, the most common London Dry gin, that's the main ingredient in a Tom Collins today. But in 1874, you probably couldn't have gotten that. So you would have either gotten a Dutch Genever or a British Old Tom gin. The last episode, we did use Old Tom gin. Today, I'm going to stick with the London Dry. There are those that say that the original drink was actually called a John Collins. We'll talk about why later. And this changed to Tom Collins because of the Old Tom gin. Okay, I have been talking way too long without a drink in my hand. So let's make the great summer drink a Tom Collins. This is the way it would have been made in 1876 by Professor Jerry Thomas, the famous bartender that we have talked about many times. This is a gin drink. We're going to make it in a shaker. I have heard people build it right in the glass. I'm going to put it in the shaker. It requires 2 full ounces of our gin. So we are going to put 2 ounces of gin into our shaker. And here we go. Now we're going to put in 3/4 of an ounce of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Here we go. 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup. I have actually here rich simple syrup. It basically means it's usually simple syrup is 1 part water, 1 part sugar. This is more sugar than water. And then you heat it up and it becomes a little bit thicker. Now we are going to put our ice in. And like always, make sure you got to put in a lot of ice. So here we go. Here is our ice. All the ice is going inside. We're going to put our cover on. It is going to need soda, but like always, you want to shake it first and then put the soda in. And make sure to keep your finger up there. And it doesn't need a lot of shaking. You can see it gets cold right away. Give it a little bit of a shake. And now we're going to put it into our chimney glass. Here we go. Kind of like lemonade with gin. We are going to put in here a lemon slice. Very often it does need a cherry. Decided today I'm not going to put a cherry in. Cheers. Oh, I forgot to put in the soda. I just put a little splash of soda on the top. I don't like a lot of soda in my drinks. Truth of the matter is, I just tasted it without. I think it's better without. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Try it either way. I think it's good. But it's a good drink, very refreshing. And like we said, it has the chimney glass, otherwise called a Collins glass, specifically for this. Now, I have to admit there are a lot of cocktails that are made with gin and then either lemon or lime and soda and sometimes sugar. There is this drink, the Tom Collins, that has the gin, the fresh lemon, simple syrup, and club soda. The gin Ricky is gin, fresh lime juice, and club soda, so that just doesn't have the sugar. Then there's the gin fizz, which has gin, lemon juice, powdered sugar, or simple syrup, and club soda, which is in essence the same thing. Southside Fizz, which we talked about with Al Capone. That's the gin, the lime, and the soda, but it also has the simple syrup. Some people say it has the mint in it. I said I don't think that Al Capone drank one with mint, but could be. Many claim that this drink was actually first created in St. Louis. And the reason they say is that since it was in Jerry Thomas's book, a little later on, a few years later, in those years, he was the bartender at a famous bar called the Planter's House Hotel, which was in downtown St. Louis. And this was one of the most famous hotels west of the Mississippi. So it's possible that he was serving these drinks to people like Charles Dickens, Ulysses S. Grant, and Jefferson Davis. So John Collins, by the way, was the American politician in the 1700s, and he was one of the founding fathers of the United States. And so that's why some people say that this was really named for him, and because it was using Old Tom gin, it got changed to a Tom Collins. Maybe. By the way, there are a huge number of states who, when you have a survey of what's their favorite cocktail, it comes up a Tom Collins. It's states like Iowa, Louisiana, Minnesota, Mississippi, Nevada, and New York. New Hampshire, their famous drink is a gin and tonic, which is very, very close to a Tom Collins anyway. And that was an actual drink that was made originally by the British colonies, and it was thought to keep away malaria from the quinine that was in the tonic. Anyway, as always, if you have other stories, if you have other pieces of history, we want to hear it. So please put it in the comments, send it to us by email, or tell it to the bottle. We want to know about it. Also, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to follow, and send a link of this to your friends so that they can enjoy cocktails with a twist of history. Thank you.